Hello. I know I'm a few minutes late. Sorry. I had to restart my computer. But we're here, and it's working. Let me get to the live stream. Look at all the beautiful faces there. Shane says hello from his new city of residency. He's there. He's moved. That which we have talked about has happened. So I hope you all are well. Plug and unplug. So I'm playing this because this is what came up from the last live stream, and I was like, we'll start here. This is labs, but labs in a special way because these are multiple lab layers and drum grooves together. I have a couple things I actually have to do while you guys are here hanging out with me. So I need to go to the Taylor Harris. Taylor just got some last minute additions. We're just about done with Chili Pop. We're not quite there yet. Let's see here. 100. He got me 10 of all of these. Great. So copy some coffee. Go over here to Chili Pop, to patches and L paste. There they are. Let me refresh the library. Also, a new plugin has come out and been born from Cherry Audio. I actually contacted them and said, hey, do you want me to show in the live stream the new synthesizer? Get me an NFR and I will show it. And they've been busy enough, they didn't get back to me. So I don't have a full version to show you. So I'm going to do, oh, it says owned. I just need to go to my orders. Let's see here. Wow. Let's see if I have this. This is page 2. Elka, there it is. Yeah, they got it to me and they didn't reply back to me that they'd sent it to me. How funny. So let's see here. Let's download and install the Elka-X and check it out together for the first time. That'll be fun. So save to the desktop, the Elka-X. This is, by the way, let's take a look at this together. This is the Elka-X. It is a renaissance of synthesis based on an older, I'm known for the string ensemble synthesizers. So this is a little bit different than that in some respects, I believe, because it's not the string ensemble we all know and love, but it was a home organ type of a synth. Elka made the last synth-X for Stevie Wonder, who used it for distinctive bass tones and single skeletons from characters. Jeff Downes, Keith Emerson, Duran Duran, all sorts of other people used this. Then they've enhanced it. So this is their newest synth. It's $39 instead of $59. Let's install it and check it out together, shall we? This is my first time to install. I'll show you. Let's see. I don't need AAX because I don't have that on this computer. Install. Go over here. Now, when you add a new plugin, there's a number of ways to add them if you go to the plugin list down here under options, you can say scan all, but I don't do that when I'm just adding one. You can use the select files to plugins, but there's actually even faster way, believe it or not. I mean, that's pretty fast. But let me show you another way that I like to use. And that's where I go over here. Let me see. Does this have... I think it said it installed a VST2 version. Yes, it did. So this is my VST folder, and I just saved it as... I don't know if you know this, but you know, if any folder you come across on your computer... Okay, let's say that we were in Macintosh HD. Go to Library. Let's see it in list mode. And when you go to Audio and then Plugins, and here's the plugins. If you want, you can just take like the VST3 folder and drag it over here to what's called your sidecar and then let go. And it will add it as a preset. So now I can just click this to quickly go there and click Date Modified. And it should pop up the newest to the top. Oh, let's see here. You can't see that. Elka-X. Ignore that Spore and what's going on here? Oh, you know, I'm on the, that's what it is, cancel. So I need to go over here and say, select plugin file to scan. VST3 and the latest Elka-X. And there it is, added. We'll talk about Spore one of these days, but not yet. Anyway, so now that it's added, we go init, and we have to go down here to Cherry Audio and Elka-X, and I need to do my login. I should have done this all before the live stream. Sorry about that. And with the proper credentials, it is now logging in and downloading all the necessary components. Anyway, I wanted to show you that you can just select from the list, or you could just drag the Elka-X into that plugin window to load just one plugin. If you're on this page and you're on your computer desktop and you have Elka-X, let's see, have this, it's thinking and doing its thing. So there's Elka-X, yay. But you could just click and drag the plugin inner icon and let go. And that's a quick way to install any plugin into Unify to test it out. You don't have to restart Unify or anything. It's just right there. So that's a quick way to... All right. New synthesizer time. Let's see. Let's get so you can see the whole thing. Go like this. There, that kind of fits. And here, Unify can go over here for the moment so that it's... I like our keys where they're lit up a little bit better. Let's get this to be resized. So anyway, this is an interest. So, okay, so this is more like this, the Elka synthesizer. It's not their string machine. You have 1, 2 oscillators, glide parameters, 2 LFOs with different wave shapes, a multi-mode filter. Here's where you choose. Two envelopes for filter and amp. Arpeggio. Okay. Need to be a little bit bigger because it's just small text. Your sends, a step sequencer. Cool. So their usual interface where you can choose different categories of sounds. CPU crackle. Why are we getting CPU crackle? Yeah, this is using more CPU power than their usual. So Unify is over here kind of chugging pretty high on its processor level. Sounds good. Yeah, it is CPU hungry. That can probably be optimized a little bit. They just released it, so. There we go, some fun rhythm things. And of course, because let's see how it is with Sync or Cloud City. Yeah. Yeah. Works in sync. Nice. Sounds nice. I really like the sound of it. They have a reverb effect, an echo, and a chorus with the 3 different presets. They have a spread, they have a filter. And on delays, what happens with a high-pass filter, it removes the low end so you hear just the high end. Or you can go the other way. You bring it to a higher mix because you're not getting all the frequency content. Hear how the filtering on the delays are really dark? Turn on the reverb. Oh, they have their Galactic reverb in here. Like, why not give them a galaxy of reverb, right? So Dreamer Project is asking about activating it. When you first run the plugin, it should pop up a login window. If not, you can go to the settings and go to account, and that will give you access to the page where you put in your credentials to authorize it. That should get it to work, hopefully. So the little settings button right here inside of a Cherry Audio plugin is your friend for authorizing and logging in, and it does an internet check, make sure you're authorized to be running it. Nice. Very nice. So if you need a synthesizer with a vintage character, there's just a couple around these days, right? Not that many to choose from. It's pretty slim picking. Now, let's see what we can do with the envelope. Do they have a dual mode? They must have some sort of a dual mode, right? Panel control, lower and upper. Yes. So you have two. It's like an organ in a way where you can have a lower and an upper. So it's 2 different patches happening. Lower. So that's how you can get these really, okay. That explains a little bit more about the CPU power, because it's 2 of this running at once, basically. So you're getting 2 synthesizers. Right? That's a lot of voices epiphany, a lot of processing for all the filtering and stuff going on. it's doubling up, so you can do things like this. Layer solo. They have a limiter at the output, which is nice. So yeah, this is a nice synthesizer. They've got some nice flexibility. Interesting frequencies for an analog subtractive synth. Yeah. And then the step sequencer down here. I'm not going to try to figure out how to operate it, but it does have, I guess, a record where... And then turn that off and... Now how do I get it to play? Oh, okay, so it's just a sequencer. They have a transposability, it can loop. It can't stop. It won't stop. Once you start it, it can't stop. Thank you. Stop. There we go. So I guess, I see. You choose the assignment for which of the two modes the step sequencer will play. It's going to play the lower, so you can have it on a bass sound or something like that, while the right hand, the upper part, could be on the keyboard for playing like a synthesizer or something, some pad, something like that. That's cool. Okay, cool. Yeah, so it's a pretty full-featured, not just a synthesizer. So here's one of those where the arpeggiator is playing one part, the lower part. There's a lower part. So if you hit solo, you can hear the two parts. Right? Hit utility, you can copy between layers and so forth, as Tony mentioned. Cool. Also has rests in chord memory. Okay, try chord memory. I don't want to try chord memory. Not on the Artz. If I go to a synth patch maybe or something like that. Synths. And I didn't even see where chord memory is at. It's probably... Anyway, it's a cool synthesizer. It has chord memory if you want to figure out how to use it. I'm not going to try to figure out how to use it in the live stream. But I trust that it works. Also, Spitfire Audio released a new tape-based library that I've been told by Simeon that he is in the process of unifying. So I don't have it to show you, but I will point out real quickly that Tape Synths is a new library from a gentleman that basically ran everything through tape, kind of going for the vintage type sounds. Really, really interesting. Lots of patches, and Simeon is in the process of unifying it. So if you want that library for Unify, that will be coming at some point here in the future. And thank you, Simeon, for doing the unification. That's really appreciated and really cool. So anyway, so those are two new products that came out this week that I'm aware of. If you guys know of anything else that you want to see Skippy sweat while he shows for the first time live in a live stream, just mention it in the comments and I'll pop it up. I will show you something else that's interesting. Shane, I can imagine, like, from a hotel while he was in the process of he's moved from central Canada to the far eastern regions of Canada, to Nova Scotia area. He sent me a link that Google has been working on something. I don't know if you guys are aware of this. Is it SD? Let's see. Let me call up what it is in his plugins. Oh, because it's not Google. It's not Nectar. There's some funny name for them. It's like, I thought it was Magenta. There it is, Magenta. DDSP Synth. This is a little on the rough side. DDSP Synth. If you do a Google search, you will find out about this synth. It's using what they call neural synthesis in your DAW. And you can download it for Windows or Mac OS. And it's interesting it's analyzing audio to make a wave shape that can be worked in a synth. It's using Google AI, so I guess maybe that's the tie-in with Google. It's not really Google powered like by Google per se, but it's using a type of DSP. They have an application for training new models. They have all these models that it comes with. So pitch bend doesn't work. Effects. But it breaks down the sound into this form of components. Does some sort of format shifting. Seems to be like just an experimental work in progress because there's no real-time control with mod wheel or pitch bend and so forth. So but something interesting if you're into interesting sounds. And the train new model is really interesting. I didn't go deeper into it, but they actually have, I believe, a separate application for the training your own models. There's a video for a free web trainer. Just a couple of minutes of audio is all it takes. So it's really interesting. So if you want more information on this, the website to go to is magenta.tenersflow.org. Here, I will put this into the chat so that you guys can check this out. It is definitely something on the more cutting edge analysis, neural synthesis, all sorts of cool words like that being used for this. So, and it's free to try. So give it a try if you would like. I thought that was interesting. Let's see. Okay, so that kind of covers the territory of new synths that I've seen this week that were interesting. Let's go from there to Chili Pop. And we are, as you see, getting closer. I can explain the layout of the library, and then we're going to do some deep dive programming together is kind of my plan. Basically, this is a library of phrases. It's a phrase-based library, and like the library that I did before this, Chill Guitar had 61 phrases that at the end of the list you could call up and say 85 beats per minute And every note on the keyboard is a different guitar phrase. Okay? Chili Pop takes this a bit farther. If you listen to here, we'll go to the 85 beat per minute phrases. There's 54 instead of 61 phrases, but they're more fleshed out. It's not just guitars. There's voice, there's a synth part. And if I want, I could go to this phrase. How would I find what this phrase is? I would have to do it from one of these. So if I went to 85 and I play this, let's see. Okay, so hold on a second here. I was messing around, didn't get it. Okay, save this update. We got a lot of work to do to some stuff with this. So, why are you playing? The bass is not supposed to be playing. So, Chili Pop phrases is supposed to be, yep, just down here to this note. And then the basses is supposed to stop at, there we go. And then we go over here to the phrases and the drums. Let's mute the drums for the moment because they're not quite, like I said, we got a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do. But you, so you can spin this knob and it shows you the phrase number. Let's say we like this. Now let me see something. So this is 85 beats. So the reason they weren't working right is my tempo of my sequencer is not right. So we're at the 85 beats per minute. So I set this to 85. Now when I turn back on the drums, they work. And I have a knob here for drums, and I've made a separate special drum kit. And I've made, I think there's something like 50 drum patterns here to choose from. And it's not tied in, so let's fix that really quick. Go over here. Super flex, you don't have, and this is probably not even assigned, so link parameters. Yeah, so let's go over here real quick. I'm gonna go to the MIDI effect, to MIDI box track number, and call this drum pattern. So now I can spin this. And it will change between all these patterns. Then I'm going to go to drum groove here, and I'm going to drum groove number and replace this by going to that instrument, the drums, to unify drum pattern. Now they're connected so that I can save. And the drum kit, just to show you, this is kind of a special kit. I just decided, you know, forget the standards I've done for every other library. I just want a ton of kicks, snares, and hats. So there's tons of kicks, tons of snaps, hats, some tambourines, one shaker, and then crash type stuff. So it's just to get the heart of the groove. Let's see, if we go back to 85 beats per minute, so we got the drum groove, right? And the phrase. Now this is phrase number 10. So if I go down here to the phrase set to number 10, I see a 5V. That means there's 5 variations to this groove. Oh wait, number 10, here we go. Oh, this is 75. Let's go to the 85 beat per minute, number 10. Or now let's go, as you can see, these go all the way to 128. So if I go 128 to 10. So I have them at different tempos to work with. So you have variations with melody. And since this is 128, if my tempo is 128, if I get this to be 128, thank you, Logic, so much, then I got a groove to work with. So there's 5 variations from just the guitars to guitars, voice, melodies. And if I go back to one of these groove setups where I have it as a split, 85 beats per minute, let's go to the phrases, call up number 10. And my tempo needs to be set back to 85 because this is the one technology we don't have in Unify is like audio shifting and following tempo. Right? And then you can open up the bass patch layer, go to any of the subs, and there's all sorts of different variations. Now, you don't get the other variations because it would get to be too, there's like over 180 something. It's a pretty huge number, 150. I can't remember the exact number, but there's a lot of phrases when you take all the variations. Some of the phrases have up to 8 variations to work with. But what I want to do, what we're going to do to start with is there's a new thing that Shane just got me inside of Unify, and that is a new set of tables because I want to try to make this set up. As you can see, you can play the groove, you can change the drum pattern, you can even change the phrase of the right. I want to change the bass so I can right? So we're going to replace, I was going to move one of these, probably Pump House. Well, I don't know, because I have to think about this for a minute because I have so many other patches using this stuff. I have drum reverb, bass. These will all be fully flushed out when this is done. But I want to have a bass sound knob. Maybe we'll put it here. Because what we're going to do is this. To start with, we'll get into like making patches and stuff here in a minute. But I first want to show you this really cool thing where I'm going to use a knob. One knob. There's all these parameters set up for this. So let's go to the second page. Okay, bass. Patch select, and that won't fit because bass patch number. Okay, so I'm going to go over here and I'm going to say full range instrument 1. Oh, they're all named wrong. So let's say MIDI enable is the parameter I want. And if I go over here, and I believe if I click here and say load curve preset, there's now, as you can see, it goes up to 8. So with the next update to Unify, we will add the ability to have you do curves all the way up to 8 segments. Right now it stops, I believe, at 5. But I said I want to do 8. And so this is going to be 1 of 8. For this first one, right? And if we go over here and say duplicate plus 1, it will automatically go to the next layer. And then we can go to this curve and say load curve preset. And we need this to be 2 of 8. And then we're going to just keep building this. We're this is telling each layer that it can be on and off when the knob is in a certain range. So the concept for you guys is you can say you're doing a live show, say you're doing something where you want to change from one sound to another sound with a knob. This is how you would do it, is using MIDI enable. And how many patches you want to switch between, that tells you which of these curved tables to load up. So now we're going to step 3 of 8. Boom. And Shane did it by math, so it's perfect and it's going to work just great. So go over here and I say duplicate +1. This way it's just going down the list and adding to each layer. So I go over here to part 4, right click, load curve preset, 4 of 8, duplicate, right click, say load curve, 5 of 8. As you can see, there's fewer choices as you get closer to 8, because at 8 there's only 8 of 8, right? 5. So here's 6 of 8, so load curve preset, 6 of 8. There's 2 for 7, right? 7 of 8 and 8 of 8, so load curve preset, 7 of 8, and then the last one, one more, and then we can right click on that 8th one and say load curve preset. There. Now I have a patch that as I spin this, it's going to only let one of the patches work. Right? So I can be playing this groove. Find the bass that works. Now to tie this into the upper level of Unify, all I have to do is go to this knob and say bass patch, just like I said, bass patch number, and then go over here to linked parameters, hit the little plus, make sure they're on the full range. You want the full range for what it's going to do to the curve, and go to the bass, Unify, bass patch number. Boom. They're now married. So now, and this could be 8 different zebra patches or 8 different patches that are used throughout a song. And then you could even automate that with your sequencer. If you right click and assign it to a CC, you could set it up to be controlled from hardware to change to different presets so that you can, in one setting, I'm helping someone who's doing a live show where they're going to have their entire show loaded up into a single Unify patch. And they can use this to cycle between the different patches for a certain song. And then have another Unify layer for another song and have a set of patches on another knob that they can cycle between and work. So it's super powerful once you get into this ability of choosing the bass sound that you want. Now, ideally, I want this bass to be over here with the drum groove and stuff. So what I'm going to do for now, let's say LFO pulse. That's cool, but I'm going to say copy knob. I'm going to say paste swap, which means it takes this knob and it copies it into the buffer. So I can go over here and I can say paste swap. And then I'm going to yeah, I want to get that over there. So let's go copy knob again, paste swap, and then copy knob, paste swap. Now I have the bass patch next to the drum grooves. Right? So there's all sorts of capabilities. Now I want to go down here to bass. Let's see here. I need to have a parameter. So let's turn down the phrase. This needs to be to the bass volume. So I want the current volume to be the max. So we just use this parameter. Instrument, bass patches, mix level. timing. I don't need that. So let's do this. Let's see. Since I'm still working on these, I can go copy knob and paste knob. Copy knob, paste knob. Copy knob, paste knob. Because I want one that's going to be called bass release. And this is going to be assigned. It's currently not assigned to the right parameter. So we're going to go to bass, which is the bass layer here. Let's see. Hey, Beltran. Okay, so I'm going to go to right here to the knobs. And here, amp release is already set, right? But it's only set to the first plugin. So all I have to do is hit +1. And it's going to now link up all 8 layers to this one knob just by doing this. Because I did add this to the bass already. And now all the basses, whether it's being used or not, will respect the amp release setting. So now I can go back here to this top level and say bass release. Go to link parameters. Full range, because it's assigned to a Unify knob now. So I want the full range of the Unify knob. To the basses, to Unify amp release. So now if I want, I could... So now you can change all sorts of parameters. Change the phrase. Here's the chords. Now, if I like this progression, which is number 38, I could go down here and look at number 38 and see that there's 2 variations to this groove. So if I wanted, here's my right hand sound. If I wanted, I could open my right hand. It's currently looking to the wrong library, but it will be looking to Chili Pop. And I could go to 85 beats per minute, number 38, and now those 2 variations are now available in the right hand to play on the keyboard. So you can have access. Let's take one of these that has a whole bunch of different variations, like number 2. Right? So I would go here to the phrases and I could mute that so that it doesn't play. Now I can play this with the phrases, all 8. Little breakdowns. Right? So I'm kind of trying to design this in a way so that you can use all of these variation phrases even inside of a setting like this where there's a whole lot of stuff going on, right? And the ultimate is this right-hand part. I've been in the process, and this is what we're going to do in a minute, of making different sounds for the right hand. So that's what we're going to be doing in a minute here for this library. And then ultimately, this Unify will have 8 layers of different sounds, and you'll have a knob to choose between them. So I'm trying to get into this concept of flexibility. Change your bass sound, change the drum grooves, change the phrase, change even the sound that you're playing in your right hand. So, hey, Fred. Hey, Tim. Welcome, you guys. All of these phrases are royalty, copyright. They're copyright free. When you buy a license, you have the ability to use these in any music you want to work with. I've purchased the exclusive rights to them from Sample Gods, a company that I've been working with. So, oh yeah. So I should point out, Fred Longot here did the Diva Station library. That is, people are loving it. It's great. So if you need patches for Diva, it's a really, really cool library. Came out really well. I have some other sounds, but we're going to make some more here in a minute. So let's see. Let's get our phrase back up and running. Some have complex chords. There's other phrases that are just very, very simple and like. So then you can play chords round, play B flat. Filtering. So you can play. Right, so there's all sorts of fun ways to use these phrases. I really like having some variety to Unify, so this is just something fun and different. Cool chords and sounds. So let's make some patches for this because I need more sounds for the right hand. And I was going to be, what I do quite often is listen to music, because you need to make sounds that are what our people are listening to and inspired. I like to listen to the top of the charts. So in Spotify, if you want to hear what's going on, you can go search and then come down here to what are the charts. And now you have access to what's going on, the top in Australia, if you want to hear the top Australian songs. Global, viral, I like to play these guys, top songs, global. And just listen and get ideas like, oh, it doesn't take long to listen to something and go, oh, And since I'm not monetizing this stream, I'm not. Okay, thank you. But I value my life. Cause imagine I die. And I ain't made 100 M's yet. There's so much things I ain't done yet. Like fucking a flight attendant. I don't party, but I heard Cardi there, so fuck it, I might attend it. A little keyboard, short, pulsy, filter, like darky little. Let's make a little keyboard sound. So we'll go keyboards. Let's just start from scratch. Let's complete from zero. So for that type of sound, I want to use probably a sample based set. So I'm going to go Guru Sampler. And there's actually a really cool waveform here called Piano-ish, which would make for an interesting filtered. And if I wanted to, I could do this. I could say, copy this layer. Let's go back to the 85 beats per minute. And then for this, oh, wait. That's not the full phrases. Here we go. 85 beats per minute phrase, jam. Jams are the big ones. And go to the right-hand part, open up Unify, And let's say we don't need that, and we're just gonna say paste. And now I've put in, so I can see now how this can work in the production. Probably want it down an octave. And then I want to get it more interesting. So let's put maybe a little FM with this. That might be fun. So you hit the plus layer, add an empty layer. Let's go over here. Now there's a couple ways to do this. If I say just DX, it calls up DX. It's init. It's set the way it is. If I go to this layer preset option right here, I showed this a bit. Replace from layer presets. If you go to DX, there's 3 banks of keyboards. So I could... That gets me closer into the neighborhood and a full cartridge with 32 pianos. I like that, but the keyboard range, again, DX, it's listening to a velocity range that's too wide. Now, if I want to make this, so DX is sustaining out. So I want the piano to do that too. And let's have this decay down. And then what's fun is let's take and pan that to the left and duplicate this DX layer and then modify this DX a little bit. But pan it to the right. A little bit more velocity on operator 5, probably for both of these, so that this will give it that expressivity. And just by changing a harmonics in one of the operators to a different frequency set, now it has content. Here, here's just the Guru sampler. Now I'm hearing clicking a little bit, which tells me that probably if I go to the parameter, it's set to the Mark I engine. So click here and change to the 24-bit new engine, and that will get rid of the clicking and stuff that the original did. They've smoothed up a lot of that stuff so it plays better. Now, if I want the FM parts to fade out, which I kind of want them to fade out, so let's do this. Let's study real quick. Just DX to see. It's, as you can see, 1 and 4 are the only 2 operators we're hearing, so it's only 1 and 4 we need to be sustained with. The levels here and 1 and 4. Now it fades out. Let's get to a little bit more keyboard family. And let's go over here to this other side. So that means I need to bring down the sustain level of this one and this one, and now it fades out. Put that with everybody else. And I have effects from the top layer of Unify right here. It's got a little bit of reverb and stuff on it. So I could have Although I kind of liked it when it was more just the groove sampler, so I'm going to turn these down just a little bit, just so it has harmonic interest. And I might use velocity. Nice. So let's save. Save. Let's call this key. This isn't the air piano anymore. Dark FM-ish. And we'll just save it like that for now. Save as. So I'm saving a Unify layer as a patch, which means that it was going to still show up here in the list and be able to be called up. Although in order to use it, I would need to now hit my little refresh button for it to refresh the database. And dark FM-ish. There it is. So I could call this up just as a patch by itself. Now, the knobs aren't set. I'll do all that kind of stuff when we're not in the... Well, do you guys want to see some of that? So one of the things that I can do is I can look and find things like this where I have another patch that has the knob assignments that I like that are connected and working, right? So I could go over here and I could say copy all macro definitions. Go over here and say paste all macro definitions. And now, and let's do this. I want to have a knob set up for the delay filter. Like it's really dark right now. If we go over here to instrument, this is on the auxiliary bus for the effect of the delay. We want to go down here to filter frequency. And there's where it's currently at. So now I can control the brightness of the delay. So let's say delay, DDL, filter. So I can control. Now, maybe I want a little bit of ambience on this because as a standalone patch, it sounds a little strange when it's dry. So go auxiliary effects. So here, I'm going to add a second auxiliary effect to this patch. All I have to do is go layer, add auxiliary effect, reverb. This is where I have all sorts of reverb presets. So I'm going to say Dragonfly. Maybe just a nice natural strings hall would probably sound nice. Nice. So what we could do is actually this. Let's make this even. So copy knob, paste knob, because I'm going to change this to be the delay amount. Or volume. I use that sometimes. So we can go over here and reassign this to replace to we go instrument. Right now, auxiliary send 1 is only affecting the... But I could add additionals. If I go over here and I say layer plus 1, I have now tied in all 3 layers to get delay. And if I want the FM parts to have a smaller amount, all I have to do is change this curve so that the max is lower, and now they don't, I have a lot of delay on the first layer, but less on the second and third. And let's go over here and say reverb. And let's go plus. If you hold on Option when you hit the little bullet, there's two ways to get to this. You can go link parameters by clicking the little plus. And then we can go over here. I'm going to give it full range because I'm going to modify it. I'm going to go auxiliary send 2 for layer 1. And I want the maximum. I can listen while I play it and set it where I want it. Oh, sorry. And then I need to assign this also to duplicate this to layer 2. But this one I wanted to have, again, a little bit less. And then duplicate again to layer 3. So I now have reverb control and delay control. Just say delay. And then little delay, little reverb. Okay, so Option and save to update that patch. And now we've made nice. All right, so let's listen to another patch, another song. Oh, Justin, my goodness. I love Lizzo. Great energy, man. Oh, this has the full piano in it. It's about damn time. Oh, there's a little flutey kind of thing. Let's do a little flute kind of thing. So we'll say init, or we could do this to just shorten. The nice thing with sometimes you want to start with something existing because then everything's all connected and wired up. That I otherwise have to wire up. There's all sorts of woodwind samples inside of Guru's sampler, inside of the bells and winds folder. This ocarina is really nice. And let's trick it out a little bit. Let's put a pitchy G on this custom. You can let her go one shot. Yeah, that sounds like a flute. But if you go over here to the curve, and speed up the rate, you can get it to be razor fast. And let's do this. Let's duplicate this layer and find another sound to complement. And let's see here. Maybe a flute. Let's try to make this work. Take it out now. There. So I'm using just a piece of this longer phrase. And let's put some random sample start. So it varies a little bit. Kind of weird and stuff, but when you put that with a normal sound, sometimes these weird things Okay, so let's get this to be a little bit more. So I'm using layers kind of like oscillators. I'm thinking, because I'm making a composite sound. So and because Unify is so darn efficient, let's duplicate the flute one more time. And let's find something else, like a whistler. Let's do this. Let's go save to the Chili Pop library. Let's call it a lead. Windy Wood. Let's just do it like that for now. Save as save, and then let's test it out. Always got to test everything after you make it. So Chili Pop phrases. Let's go back to 85. Let's go to this lead inside of here, and let's go to lead. I want more wind. So let's listen to the components. There's definitely could be more wind pulled out from there. So we go to EQ. Flex EQ. Let's just use the high shelf. High shelf will boost anything above whatever frequency this is at. So instead of boosting everything, let's have this have a little bit more of a chiff vibe. So decay down. Sustain down. So we put out the other layers. And let's find a way to like make this sound a little bit more natural. There. So now it's got more wind element. It's got interesting stuff when you hold it down. Cool. So we can just hold an Option and save, and that will actually update the patch in the library, even though I'm working inside of a layer inside of Unify. That's some of the joy of working with this kind of stuff. So any questions? I mean, I'm happy to take you guys along on this process of what I'm doing, but I just want to make sure this is helpful to you. Is this helpful to see this? Is there anything I could be showing you that would be more beneficial at this point? Because this is just programming assistance, right? Super helpful. Oh, okay, cool. Cool. Yeah, because there's so many ways to use Unify when you get into the layers. That's a Unify layer. It's a Unify inside of Unify. So you can open up like surgery. You're going into the liver of the patient. You can work on the liver while the rest of the patient is doing its thing, right? So you can, it's really liberating way to work to have this kind of stuff. Oh, good. Okay, good. You guys are liking this. Okay, good. So let's listen to another song. I'm just, basically what I do is I listen to songs. I'm hearing parts that other people are using sounds in creative ways, and that kind of like points my star in that direction, and then I make my own version of something that I hear. So Shakira. Oh, she's getting into the Montuno thing. BTS and Snoop Dogg? Oh my.
Everybody see me looking fly. Let's do things you always wanted. Have some fun and live your life. Help me waste a day and find a place to.
And Post Malone.
Oh girl, I like you. I do. I wanna be a friend.
This is a cool song.
I like you. I do. I hit you in a leg. Can you fit me in your plans? I like you. I do. We went up better friends and we woke up in Japan. I like you. I do. I do. Let me know when you're free.
There's a little lead sound in there. That boom. Right there. Let's make something like that. Something that's just a little, because I'm looking at things that you can put to a groove. You know, and work in cool ways. And so for something like that, you want to be a little bit longer release. So let's open up this layer. Let's modify what we have here. I think we could bring up the release. Let's find something else instead of this. Maybe a bell would be cool to... Just give it a little bit of ear candy. Now, I might not need as much wind. I added a lot of wind for the flute, I must admit. Let's have a little bit less. But it's really fun with all that pitchy kind of stuff on there. So the let's get a different phrase. There we go, D minor. So I need to get this to stick out a little bit more for something like this. So let's see what's on this third layer. That's kind of cool. And again, since we are so darn efficient, we can easily make this a 4 oscillator sound, as I think of it, even though it's 4 layers. Let's go maybe add a guitar component. So like guitars part 1. And then maybe we could do some creative delays and so forth. Let's go over here. Let's say omega delay, quarter note, and right below quarter note is 8th note dot. So you have some trailing effects and so I want something that kind of matches that sound, but can punch a hole through it too. So let's find who's got our high frequency. Let's get this to be a little bit more high frequency intense. And I'm going to use the peak this time. it's what I do often is I'll turn the EQ all the way up, find the frequency that I want it to be tickling, maybe limit the Q so it's not quite so wide. Now it becomes like a filter. There, and then you can bring it down once you find the frequency you want. I'm using real-time control. To play with the filtering and stuff, because all these things are set up so my real-time controller can work so that hi Penny Game. So this is Unify. This is a plugin that we've created. The cool catch to this one that kind of is unique to it is it can load any plugin you own and let you layer them. And I'm working on a new library called Chili Pop, which is a phrase-based library, and I'm making patches in this live stream, showing people how to make patches. The crazy thing with Unify is one patch of Unify can have up to 24 layers. And you can load a single patch that has 24 layers into the top level of Unify, and you could load 24 of those. So you could load 24 patches that each had 24 layers. It's multi-core. If I click right here, say I want to add serum to this, all I have to do is go empty layer, click right here. Here's all my list of all my plugins. I have like 700 plugins inside of here that I have access to. I could go anywhere to any plugin. I could say, give me serum, and boom, now serum is part of the sound. I could go to the patches, and I could say I wanted to use some sort of a Mega Magic, let's say like Epic, has some really cool bells. Up an octave. And I want to put Valhalla Shimmer Verb on this, so we can go all effects. Go down here to, where's Valhalla? UV Shimmer. And I can limit the key range of this so it doesn't play the whole key range. I can just click right here to set it to what key range I want. I can also set it to velocity range if I want velocity switches and stuff. So you can layer. Serum can't layer inside of itself, but you could add 4 different serum patches in a heartbeat with this. It's pretty fun. So right? So it's really easy to add all sorts of fun things. It's a creative way. People that use Unify kind of find that they are using their patches, all these plugins have so many patches and you never use them. So this gives you all sorts of cool ways to explore. I'm gonna hold Option. Let me see here. Did I save this? I don't think I saved this patch yet. So let's go save. This is a bell kind of thing. So we'll go bell. Plucky Woody, because it's got the guitar in it. And we'll call it Bell. 1, 2, 3, 4. Save as. So I'm saving this patch because I want to show one more thing in the Unified demo thing. So the other cool trick, if you want to call it, that Unify can do is if you set this, these are the load modes. And if you set it to load Unify layer, then any other patch that I click, if I go over here to like, I have Dreamy FM. If I click that, I've added that as a new layer to this. And we've unified, I don't have a whole lot of them here, but there's 80 libraries unified of all the most popular plugins, including Serum, so that you can go over here. This is the labs library. So I could say, let's find something like, I think there's some bells down here in the BPM. Yeah, like here's a bell. If I just click this patch, because it's set to unified layer, it's going to load labs as, and this is a bonus patch that we did for the labs is a free library samples. Inside of this is what, 5 layers to make this bells for labs. So here that is. But it's in the bigger picture of this, all this other stuff. And I can limit its key range so it stops at C. So I have my sub bass and so you can go crazy with all your plugins. Any patch that you make, you can layer. It's fun stuff. We have a good time. And each Saturday I do a live stream, just hang out, show you guys what Unify can do, feed new thoughts, look at new plugins that come out and stuff like that. Yeah, $79. Works on PC and Mac, cross-platform. So if you make a patch using Serum, the VST2 version is preferred. If you're using audio units, you're only stuck on the Mac platform. VST3's usually compatible, but there are sometimes where we found a little discrepancies, and it's not major, so it's okay. But as long as both you and whoever you're setting a patch to has the same plugins known to Unify, then the patches are fully compatible. Unify comes out of the box with 625 patches. I'll do the whole dog and pony. So these are all patches that go all over the place. So if you set this just to normal, you have anywhere from nice pianos and stuff like that. So this is going to reset all of Unify to just pianos, to synths, to pads, to hits, to guitars, to the really cool BPM stuff, because Unify can load MIDI effects, audio effects, and your instruments. So you can get into doing some things like this where it's, here's a simple BPM thing. Or you can get into really crazy, more complex things where it's doing like wave sequencing, where the layers are changing. Really, really fun. So check it out. There's a free demo available at pluginguru.com, our website. And if you, we're at 85 swimming speeds. And I think I have, let me see here. If I go, I haven't even checked this camera to see if it's working, but I think I have. Yeah, it's not wide enough to show. Oh, let's see here. Let's see if I rotate this around. There. Uh-oh. No, don't fall. Oh my gosh. Let's see here. It won't go any farther. Okay, well, let's see if I go back and around. And my lights are flying everywhere, and rock and roll. Light, you stay there. Now I can readjust this. Homemade live streams at its best, man, let me tell you. There we go. So now I got my controller here so I could be playing. And I'm controlling these knobs on the screen. So you can be jamming. Doing all sorts of fun things with all the different patches that are here. It goes so many fun places. So if you're into techno and dance stuff, there's presets for this. I love some of the latch stuff. So if we come down here to where it says latch, we have this really cool ability where you can play notes and they just sustain. So let's change the camera view because go back to this. And if you hit just a note, it sustains. My favorite stuff. And then the rest of the keyboard, let's see, look at the keyboard range. From C up is the right hand. And this latch is something that you can apply to any plugin you own. So where it says Guru Sampler could be any synth plugin that you have access to. And because it's set to what we call mono latch, there's two types of latch. There's polyphonic latch where you play a note, and you have to play that same note again to cancel it. This is monophonic latch. So anytime you play a new note, it cancels the last note. And let's say for this left-hand part, solo, maybe for this bass, I don't want it to be that sound. I want it to be something from Omnisphere. I want to use one of the new, so I have made a thing where I can quickly get to Omnisphere this way, and it will load up Omnisphere. And let's go to like the Dark Currents, the extension that they did for Omnisphere. So let's go over here to Sonic Extensions, to Undercurrent, and let's look for something synth bass. There we go. Let's take it up an octave. Maybe something a little bit more dusk hours. There we go. And maybe for another layer, let's duplicate this layer so it does the same settings. But for this Omnisphere, we want it to be an Art BPM patch from the same library, okay? So let's say Sonic Extensions, Undercurrent, Art BPM. Let's have it first Unify stop. Let's take it up an octave. So now I've created something with rhythm. My right hand is still completely separate. So let's see, I have a piano kind of sound here. I have DX'd. Maybe instead of this, maybe I want it to be something from Omnisphere or from, I know there's some of you in my stream that don't like Omnisphere to be used. So let's use Zebra 2. That's cool. So you can replace any layer of any patch with any plugin you own at any time. And then if you like this, hit save. Give it your own name, save it to your own library, and start building a library where you're using your own plugins in creative, fun ways. It just opens up all sorts of insane doors with what you can do with what you own. I just didn't want to bring out for my first product a plugin that is like a duplicate of, there's unique things with different synthesizers, but there's so many. And we all have so many sounds, and I'm thinking bigger picture. I want something that you can play with all of your plugins. So Unify is known as a doggy park for plugins, and this is why. Because you can literally put anything with anything as long as it's a plugin. Everybody's asking if we can get Logic's effects and instruments or Abletons. And we can't do that because those are exclusive. But any plugins that you own that you've purchased, boom, they just work. It's very, really cool. So there you go. The other thing that's fun with Unify is the fuzzy dice. So you could say, let's say all libraries. So I have all these libraries with 6,000 patches that I have access to. And I'm going to go to categories and let's just say ARP and BPM. So I've cut it down to 39 patches. Let's choose one patch to start with. Let's say like Forest Love. Oh no, it's Omnisphere. But if you go down here and you set this to the Unify layer, each time I click my little fuzzy dice, it's going to randomly select from this 39 patches. And you just click it a bunch of times, even while you're playing notes. It's just really, it's terribly addicting to get into this stuff. Go to Cloud City, all the stuff. I just want to add a drum thing to this, so BPM drum. Let's say Unify drum, so it doesn't do the detuning. So we say BPM drum, and let's get a hip. You know, so it's just really fun. Any other questions out there from you guys? We're about to the end of the live stream, I think. Hopefully I gave you some ideas on ways to program. Getting kind of deep in the woods here, but it's, you know, it's fun. It's fun to show you guys what we can do here. So hopefully this helps. Oh, so we're at 85, so I need to bring my tempo back down to 85. There. So this library should be out later this week. That's our hope, and never a dull live stream here. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. It's fun to make stuff. So click the like button if you can. Subscribe if you haven't. We have a sale going on at the website. So if you go to pluginguru.com, let me make sure I'm... yeah, so we've got a sale 40% off on select libraries. That means that you would go over... Let's do this, go view. If you go over here to the banner that says this, click it, and it will take you to the current libraries on sale at 40% off. These are all, and there's also some free libraries in here as well. But the Airwave bundle is in here. Mega Magic Guitars for Contact Complete. Airwave Volume 1, which was just updated. It's got 4 controllers now to all of the patches, which is really cool for Omnisphere. Noisebox drum loops, Discover Station, which works with the Spitfire Audio BBC Symphony Orchestra, Unichill, Planet Pluck was added, Mega Magic Keys. This is a great price from the piano library I did. So check out all the sale products if you want. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you, Simeon. So shout out from Portland. And yeah, so I for one, I typically don't use a lot of phrases, but I can see where it's really handy to have them when writing, especially just for song ideas and stuff like that. They're fun. I've got some cool things I've done with these that now I'm even more of a believer of phrases than I was before. So Shout outs from Les in Poland. We got Camino Island, Ken. Good to see you, my friend. Yeah, it's good to see you all wherever you are at. We'll do this again next week. And also on top of this, if you just mute the phrase, then you just have really, really cool basses. This has 8 sub basses that I've made so far. The drum grooves is insane, and I'm going to be pulling these out as separate patches. So this one drum kit, let's do it this way. If we go 85 and we go to the drums, which is right here, copy layer, go to the drum kit program and paste this layer and replace it. But I'm going to hold down Control and Option and click this and pop it up to the upper level. Now we got the drum kit, but you have MIDI box attached and all of these patterns, 55 patterns. And then what you can do is, let's see, where would I want to put it? Let's just call this pattern, drum pattern. What I'll actually do, let's do this. If I save, I can go to something like Cloud City, which is using a similar template with grooves, right? For all these drums up here, patterns and all that kind of stuff. So I can say, copy that knob setup, go to Chili Pop Phrases to the drum kit patch, drum kit, and then say paste. And I believe I had some distortion and stuff in this. And this is actually 55 patterns. Is that right? Let me see here. Yeah, 55 patterns. So now, there's 55 different patterns in here. Now the distortion mix and stuff, that's because I was over here. Let's go back to Cloud City. I'll show you, we'll get a little deeper into the woods for a minute. So these kits had a noise box right here, right? So if I go over here and I say operations, copy plugin state, I can also hold down now Control and Shift and click that and put in copy plugin state. Now I can go back to Chili Pop, to that drum kit. Notice I'm not having any patches show up after PH, so all the phrase sets will be the end of the list. So go drum kit, and we want to add a distortion noise box. We need to change the order to be in the first space. Hold down Shift and click, and now oh, and then I need a restrictor right here. So we go EQ restrictor, because the these two knobs were assigned to controlling that. They're not set up anymore. What did I do wrong? Effect 1. Oh, so maybe it's the other way around. Effect 2. Oh, it was effect 2. So say 1. We don't have 2. And now it lights up and goes, yep, bingo. And over here, this is layer 2, so change that to be 1. Let's see, is my distortion? It's not there. So we could go over here to Effect, Noise Box, Wet Dry Mix. There we go. If you want a little extra grittiness, low pass filtering. Got the effects there. And then I'll bypass and mute this to start. And then I'm going to make BPM drums. There'll be 55 patches with every one of these grooves as a separate patch. So you can call up any of these easily. They're really, really nice. Really cool things. So there'll be a lot to this library beyond the phrases. I always try to give you guys 2 or 3 times what the perceived value of something is. So that it's got lots of value no matter whether you use phrases or not. So we'll have that added to it. So, okay. So shout outs. Fred, good to see you, my friend. I didn't shout you out last week and I should have. I forgot. In the Netherlands, hello, Eric. Good to see you. And as Taylor is saying, if you have questions, Unify support at pluginguru.com. He is ready and willing to help you guys out anyway. Shout out from Daniela in Germany. Dubes, my friend, in the UK. Thank you as always for your support, guys. And yeah, so this should be out probably Thursday is what we're going to try to aim for Chili Pop. Drum grooves, sub basses, and tons of phrases. So that will be fun. So stay tuned. Coming soon. All right. Peace to you all. Have a great, great week. Be creative, happy, all that kind of stuff. See you later.